All right, good evening, Panther fans, and welcome to Week 3, 2013 football season. I'm here with Coach Fuller at Which, with a big truck rolling by. We're outside on a beautiful Tuesday night, and I want to thank our friends at Which here over by the high school. Big supporters of the football program here for 2 years running. Get by out here, support these folks, let them know that you're from Colleyville. So, Coach, let's start and talk about the varsity game. As the commentator for 3 years, I thought I'd take a little bit of liberty, talk about the game and some areas that you won't talk about. But it seemed to me we much better effort. You saw some really bright spots. I know certainly a lot of talk in the stands, which is the topic that we won't discuss, but some of the calls by the refs, there were a handful of seemingly big mistakes that they either missed entirely or didn't seem to miss quite as much on Denton's side. Certainly not a game changer, so it's not here to complain, but we'll just acknowledge it for the folks out there. But why don't you give us your thoughts here, sort of first half, second half. Obviously a lot of emotion up there that day around the young man who lost his life. And just talk about what you saw in the first half, and we'll go from there.
All right. Well, I thought, like you said, I thought our first half effort was great. We were right in the ball game, and Denton Geyer is a very, very good football team. I think they're even a little bit better than they were last year, and they were state champs and lost to Cedar Hill and to us, and then won 14 straight. But we did see some improvement. Looking at the bright side, this other night we gave up fewer points and yards than we did a year ago against basically the same team. So that was a positive. On the offensive side, we struggle with consistency. We did some good things, and then they kind of started shutting us down, and we didn't respond very well to that adversity. You mentioned some of the calls. They're going to miss calls in a game. I think the one that upsets me the most is, or the kind that upset me the most, are safety kind of issues. I thought our punter got roughed and really had an opportunity to come out with a broken leg or something like that, and we're just told basically that it's okay to hit their kicking leg, but not the plant leg. On the film, it was the plant leg, but that's neither here nor there. Overall, the effort was better this week. Our defense hung in there a lot better than the first week. We didn't have any turnovers, and that's a positive. That's a move in the right direction. But again, that's a very good football team that we played, and we certainly need to improve. But we feel like we made a little bit of progress.
Good, yeah. So you look at the second half. We really hung in there with them first half, and like you say, they clearly, in an awful lot of positions, were a bigger team. And of course, we've got some people trying to heal up here, and that young guy stepping up against a team of won the state championship is a tough one. Going into the locker room, sort of mood at halftime, and then coming out at half. Obviously, is where we started to slip. I know we talked about some conditioning, maybe improved conditioning. Is that a factor? What's your thoughts there?
Well, I think our conditioning was a little bit better this week. Coming out of the second half, we were down 14-7. Probably should have been 14-14 or 14-10 if we decided to kick a field goal instead of try to gain the 6 inches that we needed to get that first down there. But we kicked off to them. We had a great kickoff, a great defensive series, got the stop, got good field position on their punt, and then went down and scored relatively easy. And so I'm thinking at that point, things are looking good. We come out and we let them out of a third and long situation with a pass interference, and they end up scoring that time, which still, it's football and it's a good team. Those things are going to happen. but after that, we went several series in a row without making a first down. And it was a combination of, different, breakdown here or there, running a run play where we're not on the same page and turning somebody loose, or not connecting on a first down play. And we're just not good enough yet to get off schedule. And by off schedule, I mean, if we've got a stop that's open for 5 yards, we need it to be 2nd and 5, not 2nd and 10. We can't afford to call a run play and lose a yard or two and be in 2nd and 3rd and long situations. Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get better. But last year that wasn't as big a deal. We could mess around for a couple plays and complete a 19-yard pass on 3rd and 18. Did it quite a bit. But this is a new group and we're learning. Pretty disappointed that we didn't do a better job offensively in that second half. But that's something we've got to learn to grow up and just to be a second half football team. In the past we've pretty much been known for being a great team in the second half. This year in 2 games I think we got a 7-point deficit in the first half. We were tied the first week and down by 7 this week. But in the second half we've been beaten by 49 points, and that's not going to win you many football games. We've got to get better there.
All right. Well, I think I tell you the attitude in the stands is positive, and the parents out there certainly want to let all the teams, but the varsity teams know we're proud of them, and you can see the improvement, and really looking forward to Flower Mound here coming Friday. So let's turn towards that. I think they're 1-1. I'm not sure who they've played, but we've scrimmaged them for years. So I think a lot of us, at least that have been around, feel like we know them. I'm not sure if the coaching staff, if the schemes have changed, or we're going to see something very similar to that. But thoughts on the Flower Mound contest?
Well, they're a good team. Like you said, we scrimmaged them for years. Last year was the first time we actually played them in a game, and they had a new coach. Offensively, they run a really probably the only scheme you'll see like this all year. We've never seen it before. I've never seen it by anybody else. They run really wide splits and they're not just trying to throw the ball, but they do a good job of running it. It's tempting to want to just jump in that gap and go sick them and get after the quarterback, but they know that's what you're trying to do, and they're good at washing it down and getting outside on the edges where they need to be. But it does create some running lanes, and it creates some interesting problems schematically from the defensive side of the ball. On defense, they run a 3-4. The 2 games they've played so far, they've been really tight to the box, almost playing 7 men in the box, a lot of man coverage. They had a big win over Keller Central, and then got beat pretty handily by South Grand Prairie. But they had one of those nights where they had 6 turnovers, and we know what turnovers can do in a football game. But they play hard. They look a little bit more like us than the last couple teams we played. They're big but not giant. They're athletic but not maybe not as fast as the last 2 teams that we've played. So it's a little bit better matchup for us physically, but they're a really good football team, and they. Coach Johnson does a great job with them, and they're going to be well prepared, and they're going to play hard.
Good. Well, we'll look forward to Friday night, Panther fans, 7:30 at Flower Mound High School. The stadium, again, those of you that have been around that we've scrimmaged, hopefully you've all seen an email. The entire area around their stadium's under construction. All those fields that you have used to seeing, the softball and that, have been torn out. So highly recommend plan some extra time. There is stadium parking there. Just plan an extra 20 minutes and get there well before the game. Again, thanks to Which for the support. Thanks, Coach, for coming out. And we'll see everybody on Friday night.